What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video, and we're here for the 14th time in a row to review the Ring of Honor television, Ring of Honor television via Honor Club. Now, last week was a 3-hour 19-match show, or tonight, I believe there was 11 matches. It was an hour 50, so it definitely was not as long, but a lot happened on this. We had 3 championship title matches. We also had some storyline progression that I'll get into. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and jump into review. The weird thing is they taped these before, and I'm going to imagine after last week's Dynamite. Not even this week's Dynamite. Last week's Dynamite. So this is based in Vegas. I think the main reason that the last week's show was 3 hours long is because they probably originally planned to split it up, but certain talent, from what I heard, were only going to be available for the tapings last week, so that's why they taped last week. But like I said, this is a loaded card tonight, and let's go just right into it. The opening contest was the Infantry versus the Kingdom, which I am fairly certain is a matchup that has happened before, and this time around is a lot shorter and different. The Kingdom tried to sneak attack to start the match, but the Infantry stop it from happening. And then they focus on Taven, but then that doesn't last long because the Kingdom focus on Bravo, and Maria grabs the leg of Sean Dean once he is tagged in, and that leads the Kingdom to win the match once they hit the Proton Pack. So, like I said, I feel like this is a match we've definitely seen before, and nothing really different happened. They kind of teased on commentary like, oh, the Kingdom we thought would have a change of heart after the fight without honor, but nothing is really that different. Next matchup, a very good matchup. Sky Blue versus Trish Adora. Again, the commentators in this matchup spend a lot of time talking about Trish Adora is now training at the New Japan Dojo in LA and learning from Katsuyori Shibata, who's on the card tonight, and that a lot of the moves that she's using tonight was based off what she learned in the dojo, leading to her having an early advantage. This all changes once Sky Blue is able to hit a running head scissors, and this works her way into eventually hitting the Skyfall and winning the matchup. I'm not gonna lie, I'm blinking a lot. I will admit, I'm very tired. I need to stop watching these shows so late, but I watch these shows so late that there's one. It wasn't last week. Well, last week's review I could freaking explain being tired because it was 3 hours long. The week before, y'all might have thought I was drunk because I was reading the freaking notes so slow. But again, I was tired in that crap. But this week, it is what it is. Next matchup. So, I was saying we got some storyline progression. It's just weird because a lot of the ROH matchups that we're seeing are just random title matches where the competitor might have one victory and that leads them to getting a title match, or it's just a random matchup. And it's kind of rare to get any storyline happening, but the main storyline taking place right now is between the Dark Order and Stu Grayson leaving to join the Righteous. Even though he's not an official member, I do hear a ringing noise that is scaring the crap out of me. That's besides the point. Maybe they're trying to warn me. But tonight, the Dark Order, Evil Uno, John Silver, and Alex Reynolds face the Righteous and Stu Grayson. Evil Uno and Vincent start the match off, but Grayson eventually tags in, and he faces John Silver after that. But the Righteous focus on Alex Reynolds once he tags in. He's eventually able to get a tag into Evil Uno, who wants to face Stu Grayson. He wants him in the ring, but Vincent does not let that happen. This distraction leads to Dutch hitting a dive onto the outside, but that again leaves Evil Uno and Stu Grayson in the center of the ring. And Evil Uno attacks him, even though he didn't really want to. But Vincent comes back into the ring, and Uno attacks after him. That does not last long, and Grayson hits Nightfall onto Evil Uno, and Vincent tags in to get the pinfall and win the matchup for the Righteous and Stu Grayson. So, Stu Grayson, still not an official member of the Righteous, and he finally faced his former friends, or I guess you can even say brothers, in the Dark Order. And while he was able to beat him up, he kind of seemed like he didn't want to, or might have had some regrets. So we will see what continues to happen with it. After this, we get a promo backstage between Samoa Joe and Zack Sabre Jr., where they acknowledge that they were a good tag team last week, but Samoa Joe keeps asking Zack Sabre Jr., does he know who the better World Television Champion is? And Zack Sabre Jr. never really answered. So I imagine at some point we'll see, I don't know, I imagine we'll see Joe and Zack Sabre Jr., but whether it's an attack again or the one-on-one matchup to see who the better champion is, we shall see. Next matchup was fairly quick. It was back and forth, but it was Diamante versus Promise Braxton. Like I said, it was back and forth with Diamante winning with a straitjacket headlock. Next matchup, another back and forth matchup. Brian Cage and Willie Mack. Again, I want to keep mentioning the commentators tonight because they had a lot of good notes. And they mentioned that Brian Cage and Willie Mack have faced each other a lot of times. And the number that they threw out is over 50. And the surprising thing is that Willie Mack has won a great majority of those times. But since they faced off in Ring of Honor, Brian Cage has had the advantage. We get massive forearms to start the match from both men, but Cage gets the advantage from it. Willie Mack fights back with a cannonball and a standing moonsault, and then both men exchange suplexes and clotheslines. Willie hits a stunner and a frog splash for a 2 count, and then Cage hits a pump handle slam and a discus lariat for the win. Next matchup for the New Japan World Television Championship, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Rocky Romero. Again, every week that Romero competes on television, I'll mention what theme he comes out to, because most weeks it changes between two. With this week's theme that he came out to was his Roppongi Vice theme. Romero stops an armbar attempt with several dives to the outside, but his last dive to the outside is captured into a headlock by Zack Sabre. This leads to a head scissors once into the ring and many other grounded submissions by Zack Sabre Jr. Rocky fights back with uppercuts and a spinning DDT, and he follows it up with an armbar attempt of his own. We get many pin and submissions attempts from both men, but it's a 15-minute time limit, and this is when the time limit gets to 5 minutes, then it gets to 4 minutes, and Zack Sabre is not playing around anymore, and he wins the match with a body stretch that Rocky Romero could not get out of. Next matchup, Action Andretti and Darius Martin versus the Workhorsemen. Henry and Martin start the match off, but JD Drake tags in quickly and uses his size advantage to dominate over both of his opponents. The Workhorsemen work over Martin until he is able to get the tag in to Andretti, and his team gets the win with a double Alabama slam that I imagine they're going. They kept again. I'm going to keep mentioning the commentator. They kept mentioning that Dante Martin has progressed very well and is way. I'm not going to say way in advance, but he is further on the schedule than he should be. So, and they kept teasing that maybe they'll try 6-man tag teaming, or maybe Action Andretti and Darius will continue to team. That being said, I said they wanted the double Alabama slam. I think they should come up with a tag team name. I don't have one off the top of my head, though. Next matchup, literally seconds long. A 6-man tag team matchup of Kip Sabian, The Butcher, and The Blade versus Shogun, Bryce Saturn, and Jacob Austin Kong. All 6 men battle in the middle of the ring to start the match, but then Shogun and Bryce Saturn get thrown out to the ring, and Kip Sabian, Butcher, and The Blade beat up on Jacob Austin Young. I just called him King on accident. And the Butcher and the Blade win the match for their side once they hit the full death. Like I said, very, very quick matchup. But we get another trios matchup. This one was not quick. Or it was quick, fast-paced, but a lot happened. We get a dream trio of El Hijo del Vikingo, Commander, who are going to be opponents tomorrow night, or I guess in the case of this one when you're watching it, tonight on Rampage, and Bandito versus Jack Cartwheel, Angelico, and Serpentico. Angelico and Commander start the match off, but we see all 6 men come into the ring very early, with the 3 luchadors attempting to do a dive to the outside, but they are stopped by their opponents. This leads to several cartwheel maneuvers by the guy with the cartwheel in his name. Commander spends a lot of this time in his opponent's corner until he's able to hit a code red and finally gets to tag in. And we finally see the 3 luchadors do the dive to the outside. Bandito tosses Serpentico onto Luther on the outside, and he dives onto both of them. Commander does his rope run and lands on Angelico on the outside, and Vikingo hits running knees and a 630 on cartwheel to win the match for his side. So, Bandito, Commander, and El Hijo del Vikingo win the match. The final 2 matchups, the double main event, 2 title matches. This one has been built up for a while. For the Pure Championship, Katsuyori Shibata versus Alex Coughlin. We saw them tag team about a month ago. It's been a while since we've seen that matchup take place. And they won the matchup, but after the matchup, Alex Coughlin wanted a title match, and we are finally getting it tonight. He was not that well prepared because he used all of his rope breaks minutes into the matchup. We get an arm break or arm breaker early by Shibata that leads to Coughlin's first rope break attempt. Then we get a triangle choke that leads to a second rope break attempt, and Coughlin uses his third rope break attempt when Shibata was attempting the Cobra twist. Shibata follows this up with many kicks to his opponents and many forearms, but Coughlin is able to do the impressive thing that he did several weeks ago, and he did it again, where he's on the ground and is able to pick his opponent up in a suplex position and hit the suplex. Then he follows this up with lots of chops. Coughlin is able to power out of a triangle choke, and Shibata, it doesn't really matter to him because he's able to lock in a sleeper hold and follows it up with a penalty kick to win the matchup. Our main event for the women's title match, Athena versus Kiera Hogan. Athena starts the match off aggressively with forearms and kicks, but Hogan tries many roll-up attempts. That does not matter. Athena, once they're on the outside, tosses Kiera Hogan into the ring barrier, which was not really covered with anything. It was pretty much metal, and this damages Kiera's arm, which a majority of the match is Athena working over the arm. Hogan fights back with a Hurricane Rana and a spinning DDT, but she is not able to ever properly get a pinfall. And Athena wins the matchup with a roll-up while holding the tights. And after the matchup, Kiera Hogan was not happy, and she attacks Athena, and the show ends, I guess I should say, with the 2 brawling with security trying to break them up. So I imagine at some point we'll get a rematch due to the shenanigans that ended it. So that was it for this episode of Ring of Honor. A lot shorter and quicker, and I'll be the one to say it. A lot better than last week's episode. Like I said, we got 3 big title matches. We got some good 6-man matches out of it, and like I said, we got some storyline progression with the Dark Order. Now they are taping, I believe, Sunday, but it is only 1 taping. Hopefully, they split it into 2 shows, but I'm a little bit concerned because they've only announced this 1 taping. And I think what is most likely going to happen, because it's the cheaper thing, but product-wise, it's not the better thing. They're probably, after these 2 tapings, or 2 episodes take place, they're going to do the tapings in front of the AEW audience, which they're just not that good. Like, I don't want to be the a-hole and say it. There's not a lot of people in the crowd for some of these matchups, because I imagine it is I don't know. It's either at the very beginning when people aren't sat down, or it's at the very end when everybody's ready to go home. So that's why I don't really like it when they tape in front of the AEW audience, and I like it when they tape in the Universal Studio audience, because that audience is going to see Ring of Honor, and they're a lot more lively and more than likely know the people involved in the stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'll be here to review it all. So thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I have made a video each day this week, and I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to say it. I'm just say it now. Probably going to take a break from making videos, but you will guarantee see me next Friday to cover the Ring of Honor TV review. So watch all the videos that I upload this every week, and I'll see you when I see you. Take care.